Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. So in the previous lecture we had covered the preventive approach of weed control. In this series we were discussing about weed management, and we have already covered so many lectures. If you have not seen them, then you can watch them. So in this particular lecture we are going to cover the physical approach of weed control, or that is called manual or mechanical approach of weed control. So what does it mean? The physical approach means we are using either human power or mechanical power to control the weeds. Okay, here in physical approach we are basically using the power to control the weeds, right? In preventive approach we were preventing the weeds to come over our field. We are doing certain practices like quarantine laws imposement, then weed control in previous crop, then cleaning the field bonds, irrigation channel and all. You can watch that lecture. In the physical approach of weed control, what we are doing, we are basically imposing certain power, either manual power or mechanical power, to control the weeds. Okay, but here the main problem is, because as we are using the power, so as the energy to create the energy, right now if we are not using the proper energy creation method, suppose we are using the fuel, okay, suppose we are using the fossil fuel, so we are polluting the environment. Suppose we are using the human as a method of weed control, suppose we are using manual power, then drudgery problem is there. Then we require more number of labors and the labor cost is going higher. So these are certain drawback of this physical approach or mechanical approach of weed control. And again, if we are using different machinery, the availability of machinery, weeding machinery, and the technical know-how by the farmers for using that machinery, that is also a drawback. So our first point is hand weeding or hand pulling. Okay, here what farmers do, they actually control or pull the weed and remove the weed by hand. So here the major problem is, this is time consuming. So many levers are required for the weed control. Again, when we control the weeds at the generally the vegetative stage, right? So when the crop is at vegetative stage, then the crop as well as weed, they looks very similar. So there is a very much chance is that the crops along with pulling of weeds that may be removed from the field. So farmers can't identify actually the weeds and the crop at the initial stage, at the vegetative stage. So they can also remove the crops along with the weeds, right? So these are some drawbacks. Then if farmer is entering in the field at the crop stand condition, suppose farmer is generally broadcasting the seed. Okay, if the seed is line sown, then there is no problem. We can go for hand weeding in the in between the line or in between the rows. But if it is broadcasted, then lodging might happen. Okay, so these are certain drawback of hand pulling and hand weeding. Okay, the next method is hand hoeing. So there is an implement called a hoe, that is that looks like this. Okay, here one iron share is present and here is the handle. So first initially you have to loosen the earth, then you have to pull the weed. So it is quite easier than hand pulling. So that is hand hoeing. Then tillage is another method of weed control. Tillage generally we do interculture operation or on farm tillage, that is during the crop situation. So we loosen the earth, that is also called tillage. Again, deep summer tillage we can do for controlling the perennial weeds. Suppose perennial weeds, in perennial weeds the propagating material is generally the vegetative part. So if we are exposing those vegetative part during summer season, then those vegetative parts will desiccate and that will be killed. So they cannot germinate again. So by deep tillage we can also control the weeds. Then mowing, you must have heard about lawn mower. Okay, so what it does, it basically cuts the grasses from the surface layer, right? So mowing, if I'll ask you, we can use the mower in case of crop field or not? So answer will be no, we can't, because it will again it may damage certain crop if we are not handling it properly. Then it may damage the crop. So it is basically used for controlling weeds in canal bonds, farm roads, lawn, park, etc. Right? Then flooding is another method of weed control. In case of rice crop, we can do flooding, and rice is also, it can sustain or it can adapt to waterlogging situation and flooding situation. Why? Because rice leaves has erenchymatous tissue. Remember, this is very important. Why rice plant can sustain in waterlogged situation? Because rice leaves has certain specialized tissue that is called erenchymatous tissue, and that can transport oxygen from the atmosphere to the root system, right? So other weeds, that is other plants or the unwanted plants, that is called weed, they cannot sustain in that situation. So some weeds they may sustain, but most of the weeds they will get killed if we submerge the field. So in rice field, generally we do flooding to control the weeds. Then burning, flaming and heating. Burning means we are just we are just applying any dry residue in the field, and we are just igniting it, right? So after ignition, what it will do, it will increase the temperature of the in the surrounding of the weeds. So it will kill the it can kill the vegetation or unwanted vegetation. Then flaming means it is directed heating. Burning means it is complete burning. I mean, if the field is dry enough and there are so many weeds, or we can place some dry residue, and we can burn the field. That is burning. Flaming means it is directed heating. That means it is we are using certain flaming instrument and we are directing the heat towards the weed. Again, heating means heating of soil. That is that may be done with soil solarization. I will come to this soil solarization process later on. So these are another methods of weed control: flaming, burning, as well as heating. Then chilling and digging. There are certain chilling instruments are there. So chilling is basically the cutting and scraping of the top growth of weed, and digging means if the weed is having deep root system, then we have to dig out. That means we have to dig the soil, and we have to manually uproot the plant or weed. Then mulching is another method of weed control. What it happens, suppose we are covering the soil, we are covering the weeds with certain material that may be organic, that may be inorganic. So after covering, what happens, the weeds, they cannot get enough solar radiation and they cannot photosynthesize, so they will suppress, and the plant that will again compete better, that will grow vigorously, and that can compete better to the weeds. So mulching are again two types. One is live mulch, one is dead mulch. Live mulch means, suppose the legume crops, they can act as live mulch because they are having wider the foliage is spreaded type. In case of legume crop, the foliage is spreaded type, so it can act as live mulch for the weeds. Then dead mulch, organic, it may be organic mulch, it may be synthetic mulch, it may be soil or dust mulch. So by mulching, we can suppress the weeds, we can check the evaporation loss of water from the field. Okay, again, if we are using organic mulch, we can increase the organic matter content of the soil. But drawback of mulching is mulching material, the cost is high. Okay, then if the CN ratio is high, then there will be immobilization problem. We will talk in later on. Immobilization problem means the nutrient will be immobilized by the microbes. Then if we are using organic mulching, they may invite termite attack, and some mulching material, some organic mulching material or straw material, they can release certain allelochemicals, and that will have a negative impact on the crop plant also. Then soil solarization, this is another method of physical control. So what happens here, what we do in soil solarization, basically it is practiced in summer season. So after tilling the soil in summer season, we just irrigate the soil, or we just moist the soil. Then we cover the soil with transparent polythene sheet. We are covering the soil with transparent polythene sheet. So what will happen, when the solar radiation come and fall on this transparent polythene sheet, that can easily pass, because as it is transparent, that can easily pass it. Then it strike the ground. So after striking, the solar radiation, basically these are the photon molecules, they lose energy. This solar radiation will lose energy. So as there is a transparent cover, so they cannot bounce back. After losing energy, they will be trapped in between the soil surface and the transparent plastic film. So and that will be trapped in between, so that will increase the soil temperature up to 55 to 60 degrees Celsius and more. So in this temperature actually no weeds or weed seeds cannot survive. So that is another method of physical approach of weed control. So this was about physical or mechanical approach of weed control. In the next class we will discuss about cultural or ecological approach of weed control. If you are facing any doubt on understanding of any point, then you can comment below.